we light the candle?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody ready? Well, good evening and welcome to the January 20th of 2026 City Council meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, welcome everyone. The item A has been rescheduled to, I believe, the next City Council meeting. We're going to be honoring a longtime police volunteer, and we'll put that on for the next City Council meeting. Now we've got item B, a proclamation honoring religious freedom. I'll turn it over to Councilmember Jack Walsh.
Hello. This last week was the Religious Freedom Day. We have a proclamation for it. And before reading it, if we have some few special guests representing different faith traditions, if they could come up here to the podium, Hira Singh from representing the Sikh community, Atif Nasir, president of the Islamic Center. Is Gordon Banks here? Okay, and Christoph Reiner, President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints here in Federal Way. And I will read the proclamation. Whereas the right to freedom of conscience and religious belief is a fundamental human right and a cornerstone of the American identity, ensuring that all individuals may practice their faith or no faith at all according to their own dictates. And whereas the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, as drafted by Thomas Jefferson, was enacted on January 16, 1786, as a precursor of the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And whereas the Washington State Constitution further reinforces these protections, stating in Article 1, Section 11, that absolute freedom of conscience in all matters of religious sentiment, belief, and worship shall be guaranteed to every individual. And whereas the City of Federal Way is a vibrant, multicultural community enriched by a vast diversity of religions, faiths, philosophies, and individuals of all convictions. And whereas our community's strength lies in our mutual respect for one another and through protecting religious freedom. Now therefore, we the undersigned mayor and city council members of the City of Federal Way do hereby proclaim January 16, 2026 as a Religious Freedom Day and encourage all citizens to foster an environment where people of all backgrounds can live together in peace and harmony. Signed this 20th day of January, 2026. All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's get a picture together. Just come on back. And each of you want to take just a very, very briefly just express your sentiments about freedom of religion.
Good evening. Thank you, Councilmember Jack Walsh for invitation, and thanks Mayor and the council for giving opportunity to come here. This is great from the Sikh community. The Sikh community, by the Sikh, we believe in Ek Noor Te Sab Jag Upajya Kaun Phale Ko Mande. The meaning is there's one light. We all came from one light and want to merge back to the same light. So being these lights, we have freedom. We should have a freedom to pray the Creator, the source of the light, any way we want to. So religion freedom is very important from a Sikh community basis. So thank you very much for putting this proclamation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Mayor Farrell, members of the council, and Council Member Jack, thank you so much for having us for this meaningful proclamation and recognizing the importance of the religion in our city. As a representative from Islamic Center of Federal Way, I want to share that the freedom of religious is not only a constitutional value for us, but it is a deeply rooted Islamic principle. Just quickly sharing small verse from Quran, it says there is no compulsion in religion. This verse affirms that faith must be matter of conscience, chosen freely, never imposed. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he did just that when he established the city of Medina. He created a society where Muslims, Jews, Christians, they all lived along with each other with mutual rights, dignity, and protection. So today, living in Federal Way, we are grateful to reside in a city where people of all faiths and beliefs can worship openly, raise their families, and serve the broader community without fear. So again, on behalf of the Islamic Center of Federal Way, thank you for honoring this day, for fostering a city built on respect, understanding, and peaceful coexistence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Farrell, City Council, and especially Councilman Jack Walsh. I represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As such, we have 8 congregations in this area, and several of those are cultural units. We have a Samoan-speaking unit. We have a French-speaking group. We have a purely Korean-speaking unit, and we have a Spanish-speaking unit. A lot of diversity, but these principles are so important to us. Personally, my grandfather grew up in Germany as a man of faith during a time when the Nazi regime took over, and he was prosecuted and almost killed for his religious beliefs and the values he upheld, trying to stand for religious freedom. So it's of deep personal significance to me that we can be here in a country, in a city that upholds these values. I don't see this as perfunctory. I see that as deeply meaningful, and I'm honored to receive that on behalf of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, its members here in the community, in the spirit of partnership and mutual respect. And thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are on to Mayor's Emerging Issues and Report. And that's myself and the Reverend Anthony Thompson, who delivered great remarks at the Martin Luther King Jr. event on Saturday. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, moving forward. There's the picture of me speaking at that event. We had some, in addition to myself and Reverend Thompson, there were great performances, and there were just really good speakers. I would also like to thank Pastor Joe Bowman for being the MC. The Diversity Commission did a phenomenal job. Our Parks Department and their staff did a great job. Keith, thank you very much for your leadership that just really helped bring it all together. I heard a lot of comments that was one of the best Martin Luther King Jr. events that we had ever had. The performing groups were absolutely fantastic as well. So that was on Saturday the 17th. And I want to thank a very special thanks to Bill. If you guys saw the signs around town, Bill Vadino put those around town. And, you know, one of the things that happens in our community is we'll have these great community events, and we'll put them on social media, and someone says, gee, I wish I would have known about that. And that's one of the reasons why we put where we really try to get the word out through our local paper that does a great job covering our community, and also, signs and just every which way to get people there and to really be a part of the community and special events. All right. Okay, then we had the Chamber of Commerce luncheon. It was, that's Dr. Pfeiffer and former Mayor Michael Park. Dr. Pfeiffer did a phenomenal job at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon on January 7th, talking about the state of education of the Federal Way Public Schools, and all the great news that's really coming, all the great work they're doing every day, and where there's, over 20,000 students and over, I think it's between 3,500 and 4,000 teachers and employees of the school district. They work hard every day to educate the children of our community. Dr. Pfeiffer was really just doing a great job, and she's very present in the community. Also, we had, in this very chambers, along with, I think, about 5 members of the city council, we had the Tacoma Science and Mathematics Institute student visit. We had Councilmember Sefadasan, Councilmember Honda, Councilmember Hamilton, Council President Moore, Councilmember Walsh, and it was really, actually, at some point, I'm like, well, we got enough for a city council meeting. But we didn't talk business. What we did is we answered questions from the Tacoma Science and Mathematics Institute students. They did a great job, a lot of great questions. In fact, actually, really heard some very interesting information from them. And so it was good, very productive and informative. Okay, next. We had the Pete Von Reichbauer always brings the community together, and we had the South King County Leadership and Volunteer event, and many people here on the podium, our city council members, elected mayors, and city council members, county council members from the South King County area. It was a really good opportunity. It was over at the Performing Arts and Event Center, as you could see from the picture. We're very fortunate to have Pete in our district to make sure he's really working for us and bringing, I think the thing about Pete is he brings the community together, and it was a very nice event. And also, I believe the Deputy Consul General for Mexico delivered some remarks as well. And so that was they're very positive, and it was a great event. And once again, John, the PAC was great, great facility, and a really nice place for the community to gather. Next. Okay, upcoming events. We've got our City Council retreat this Saturday. Doors will open about 7:30. We'll get started with the program at 8 a.m. And that's really a great opportunity for the council. We've been working on an agenda, and staff will be ready to give presentations. But the most important part is to hear from the council and about their visioning for the future, not just this year, but in the years ahead. Great opportunity for us to get together and not be as tethered to like a regular council agenda like we are at our city council meetings. It's open to the public. It's going to be an open breakfast and at lunch as well. And we encourage members of the community to be there. And during breaks and during other opportunities, you have a chance to talk with the council members and to really hear about the deliberations that are going on. So I hope you can make it again this Saturday down at Dumas Bay facility. Doors open at 7:30. The discussion and the presentation start at 8 a.m. sharp. Okay, then we've got the compost workshop at the South King Tool Library on January 24th. That's always a great event. And then we've got a lot coming up here. The spring is, didn't Saturday almost feel like spring, you guys? It was really just a beautiful day. So we've got but not to get ahead of myself, but we've got the Mending Fair at the Federal Way Library on February 1st. We've got the drive-through recycling event at the South King Tool Library on February 7th. And then the 2026 State of the City Address at the Performing Arts and Event Center on February 19th. Next. And before we get to that, I do want to say 2 things. Number one, as you have probably saw the banner out front, our beloved Seattle Seahawks have made it to the NFC Championship. I don't want to jinx it, but Should they move on to the Super Bowl, like we did, I think, about 10 years ago, we'll be planning for a big rally like we had in years past here at City Hall. So be on the lookout for that. And things are looking promising, but I'm not going to say anything to jinx it. The last thing I think I want to share something that we received an email. I received an email over the weekend about an individual who's up on the dais here with us, and that's Councilmember Jack Walsh. We received a very, very touching, and I hope I don't embarrass you, Councilmember Walsh, but we received an email from, is this okay?
Go ahead.
All right. Captain Cheney writes, "Dear City Council members," I received this on Sunday. Please, let's see here. Captain Cheney. "Dear City Council members, my name is Brad Cheney. I recently served as the Community Affairs and Public Information Officer for South King Fire and have since returned to shift work as the station captain at Station 63, serving the Twin Lakes community. I'm writing to express my sincere gratitude and commendation for Councilmember Jack Walsh." He had no idea I was going to embarrass him like this, by the way, "who stepped in to assist during a challenging situation at a recent call. While I'm unable to share specific details, and we wouldn't, of this incident, it was a difficult circumstance that left our crew navigating how best to support the patient and their family. Councilmember Walsh, who happened to be a neighbor, came by to check on the patient and family. It quickly became clear that the family needed assistance, but was not in a position to accept our recommendation for medical transport. When I spoke directly with Councilmember Walsh, he immediately asked how he could help. I asked whether he would feel comfortable transporting the family in his personal vehicle to Marybridge Hospital in Tacoma. Without hesitation, he agreed. He confirmed with the family, and they immediately drove to the hospital. He drove them to the hospital, showing no concern for his own time, energy, or inconvenience. Councilmember Walsh's actions exemplify his continued commitment to serving our community. He's widely known as a respected business owner, city council member, and volunteer, and on this occasion, he also demonstrated service in an unexpected but deeply meaningful way. I'm extremely grateful for his willingness to step in during a dynamic and emotionally charged situation, and I hope you will recognize his efforts in whatever manner you feel appropriate." Thank you, Councilmember. Okay, with that, thank you. With that, we have council committee and regional committee reports. Committees are not established yet. That's something that's on the agenda for later today, but we did have Councilmember Walsh. You had a meeting. Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, and several items on the consent agenda came out of that meeting. I was not sure whether I was going to be giving this report, so I don't have the items lined up here, but I believe items B, C, D, E, F, G, hold on, maybe all of them. Okay, the consent agenda came out of that meeting, so anyway, so anyway, yes. And so it was a productive meeting. It's been an honor to serve as the chair of the Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee for the last 4 years. And anyway, looks forward to serving as chair as another committee here shortly. So,
very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now, Councilmember Assefa Dawson for Lodging Tax Advisory Committee.
Yeah, we had a meeting last Tuesday, and it was, we talked a lot about our procedures and work that we need to do and how to do it. And so it was a very meaningful meeting. And so I think that would guide us into the future as to how we administer and how we do our meetings and how we do grant approvals and whatnot. So it was a really good, healthy meeting. And our next meeting is in March. So we're not having one in February. And that ends my comment. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
I do have some regional updates.
Councilmember Moore? I mean, Councilmember Honda, sorry.
I didn't know, I looked like Councilmember. All right. The Puget Sound Regional Council, which serves King, Kitsap, Pierce, and Snohomish counties, is having a workshop for newly elected officials. And this is a really excellent workshop to go to. It's on Friday, February 27th, 9 to 1:30. And it's located up in their Seattle office. and you need to pre-register, but it's really a great workshop. They do it every 2 years, and I would recommend our new council members to go. And even if you're established council member, you'll certainly learn. They also have a draft regional transportation plan that they are looking for input, and it's online, and they're asking not only elected officials, but the public to go online before February 2nd and respond. We can have the link up on our, excuse me, on our city council page starting tomorrow for folks, but this plan is done every 4 years, and it helps guide local planning and transportation investments for the future. So it should really reflect what our community needs in transportation, and I would encourage you to go to the link and respond. Last year, I was honored to be a judge for the National League of Cities on their City Cultural Diversity Awards. They had an email that came out today saying that they're looking for nominations for cities to submit projects for diversity awards, and they need to be submitted by, well, January 28th, which isn't very far. But I can tell you as a judge, the things that we do here in Federal Way, and I can think of a number of them, would certainly fit into an award-winning program. So I would encourage us to do that. And who should I talk to staff-wise?
Bill.
Bill, okay.
Yes.
Because I would love for Federal Way to be recognized by the National League of Cities. And several of the things we do here would certainly fit in from what I judged last year.
Yeah.
And finally, AWC, Association of Washington Cities, every Friday at 12:30 through the legislative calendar, they have a legislative update, and it lasts about an hour. You have to pre-register, and it is every Friday, so please go online and pre-register for that. Thank you.
Very good. And speaking of the Association of Washington Cities, also known as AWC, several of us on the dais here are going to be down in Olympia for gathering the cities of the Association of Washington Cities are gathering in Olympia at St. Martin's College, and then that's going to be on Wednesday, tomorrow, and also Thursday. And then on Thursday afternoon, we'll be meeting with our 3 legislators, starting at about, I think, either 2 o'clock, 2:30, 2:45. We'll be meeting with both our representatives and our state senator. And if you have, council, if you've not received that yet, Bill will be sending you that calendar, that schedule. So, yeah, that's going to be, it's always great to hear from other cities around the state. And then we'll have an opportunity to be talking with our legislators afterwards. So there's going to be 2 days in which we're down in Olympia, not only talking with each other, but talking with legislators. And we're watching very closely the events that occur in Olympia and provide updates to the council that we get from our lobbyists. With that, Council President, do you have a report?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues for electing me as their council president 2 weeks ago. So I just want to give my sincere thanks to my colleagues. I have now met with all of the council members one-on-one, and I have sincerely appreciated all the conversations that I've had, and have valued them quite a bit. Also, committees have now been assigned, as the mayor has indicated. So I look forward to talking more about that in a few minutes. Council retreat, again, as the mayor has indicated, council retreat is in full process, and we're looking forward to that this coming Saturday. Also, I just want to thank my colleagues. It takes a lot of work, effort, time, and energy for our council members to be out in the community, and I just want to say thank you for being engaged. Thank you for coming up to the events that are happening all around our community, and so I just wanted to do a little shout out to my colleagues for being out there in public. So with that, I will end my report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, now we're on to public comment. I would actually also,
Mayor?
yes,
Thank you. I have a few things.
yes.
Appreciate that, thank you. I want to say thank you to Ron Walker for Martin Luther King Day, for chair of the Diversity Commission, who worked so hard on Martin Luther King Day, and he did an excellent job, and so I wanted to say publicly thank him. And I wanted to also say that the recycle event, people need to know, the South King Tool Library, it's going to be on February 7th from 10 to 2. And if you don't know where it is, just Google South King Tool Library, it'll come right up. And they're going to bring your scrap metal, Christmas lights, electrical cords, styrofoam, plastic film, and documents for shredding to a free drive-through event. So those of you who have leftover Christmas lights that don't work, half the string, whatever, bring that over. And then, Mayor, I wanted to talk about the AWC lobby days. We'll have Mayor Farrell, Councilmember Honda, Councilmember Hamilton, Councilmember Walsh, and myself will be going there. Some of the bills that are coming up in Olympia are very concerning to our community. And so we'll be talking to a couple of our legislators about that and learning what we can do to help you as far as things like new taxes. And so that's pretty concerning. And so thank you very much, Mayor. And the retreat on Saturday should be pretty interesting. We're going to have a little presentation on, some of us have been talking about housing, building smaller houses that you can purchase that would be in the $300,000 category, because most of the houses, the average in Fedway is $600,000. And so it's nice, you know, if you want to rent, that's fine. If you want to buy a house and you can afford $600,000, that's good. But if you can't, you're right in the middle, and you want to get from rent to buying, perhaps maybe we could do something in the middle for you. So thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Before we get down to public comment, I do want to let everyone know, I consulted our city attorney and also reviewed the flag policy myself. The 12th man banner out there, we're not calling it a flag, it's a banner. It's affixed to the building, it's not on the flagpole. So we are not in, I want to make sure that we are in compliance with our ordinance, but also anybody that would like to talk about the flag policy and moving forward, where we actually put flags on the flagpoles. We're going to be discussing that at our council retreat. But once again, I consulted with the council president, legal counsel, and I took a look at the exact wording of the ordinance, or not the ordinance, but the policy, and I believe that we're in compliance with that ordinance. Just want to make sure that people understand what we're doing, and it's something we've done historically here in the city of Federal Way. Okay, now, the most important part of the meeting, to hear from the public that we work for. Joanna Hall is first, then Paul McDaniel, then Betty Taylor, and then WJW Veterans Committee, is it Corey? Corey Kays? All right, very good. Okay, and then we've got more, but we'll get there when we get there. Is Joanna Hall here?
Hello. So, again, my name's Joanna Hall, and I'm a resident of Federal Way, Washington. And I want to begin by apologizing to the City Council for my naivety when opening my camp, Camp Moxie Joe's. I now understand that I made quite a few mistakes. What I want to emphasize this evening is that as soon as I discovered there was an issue, I notified the city immediately and got into discussion with them to find out how I could get into compliance to get back to doing what I love the most, which is running my camp. I've come to understand that continuing operations will require rezoning, permitting for various parts of the property, and regulations regarding the goats would need to be amended. I am respectfully asking each member of the City Council to hear my plea to remain in operation. Now, we all recognize that in our society, we're all struggling with unhealthy patterns of living. We rely too heavily on screens for connection and entertainment, and we spend far too little time immersed in nature, even though we know how deeply it nourishes our minds, bodies, and souls. We long for genuine community, yet the spaces that once fostered it feels increasingly rare. We crave more creativity, whether through making art or experiencing music. And that, my friends, is exactly what Camp Moxie Joe's encapsulates. Beyond vacation rentals, we have supported live music, hosted an artist retreat with public showcase, and held fundraisers for local nonprofits. This year, we hope to collaborate with Federal Way's own Fusion, Phenomenal She, and Multi-Service Center. But all these plans that I have for this summer to make community for Federal Way and the people around us has been halted because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to be open in spring. So in preparation for this evening, I reached out to some of the fans at Camp Moxie Joe's, and I've received 12 letters expressing their support. I also knocked on door to door to my neighbors and received 22 signatures in support. Now, the camp has received 85 five-star reviews across 5 different platforms. Now, mind you, there's not one 4-star review. To me, that reflects that we're doing something right. And I've provided copies here for each of you to review. Since opening, we've attracted guests from all across the country, as well as from Canada and the Netherlands. Last spring, a UK documentary film company that produces for Netflix chose our property as a film location. I've also had inquiries from multiple companies seeking to host retreats, and we've already celebrated 2 weddings and 1 reception here. Now, statistics clearly show that Federal Way residents tend to spend their money outside their own city. At a time when Federal Way is actively investing taxpayer dollars to promote tourism, it doesn't seem to be in the city's best interest to close my camp down. Guests at my camp frequently ask for referrals to local restaurants,
Ma'am,
shops, and experiences, directly contributing to the local economy. Situated,
I'm sorry, that's time.
oh, okay.
Did you want to say one more sentence to wrap it up?
Just the fact that we're tucked between Seattle and Tacoma, we're surrounded by beauty, we have this awesome opportunity to become a destination place, and I want to be a part of that.
Thank you.
May
Thank you.
I give you the letters of review?
Yes, actually, if you can give them to the city clerk, she'll make sure that they get distributed.
all right.
Thank you. No, oh, yeah, that way. Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you. Paul McDaniel.
Thank you. My name is Paul McDaniel. I've been a resident of Federal Way since early 1990s. Today, I come to address the Diversity Commission. Later tonight, a brother of mine will be speaking on the opposite side of my argument, and the conversation will be about the flags again. I believe the conversation is short-minded, not looking at the bigger picture. I'll start with the word equity. When I first came to council, the word was confusing to me and something that did not make much sense. I have talked to diversity council members and other residents about the terminology. My understanding is that they will usually use an example of 3 people standing behind a fence of different sizes. The tall person can see over, the too short cannot. In order to have equity, the 2 people who are too short are given a box to stand on so they can see. That provides equity of outcome. Well, that is one way to get equity. Another way that's not so promising is to chop off the legs of the tall person so that no one gets to see. That would also define equity. Or the third one is what we did as a council. We took away the fence completely. There is no flagpole to fight over. There is no flags to say, mine's up, yours down, whatever it is. There is no politician making a decision on what goes up or down the flagpole. That is true equity. Every single resident in this city now has the same level of access. That's equity. Second thing I want to talk about is diversity's work plan. Part of that last year, 2025 work plan had pillars in it. One of those pillars was community outreach. So my question is, when the Diversity Commission decided to come to discuss this topic, did they have public conversation? Did they have public outreach? Did they actually fulfill one of the pillars as part of their package? And the second part is, did they do that, or did they use a small group to make the decision? So I asked them the same question they asked me on that one. The next part is, whose idea? Is it actually a diversity member's idea, or is it staff or a consultant's idea? Is it actually a resident who wants to have this conversation, or somebody outside of our area? And the next part is I want to know is, who wrote your comments? I wrote my own comments. I didn't have staff, I didn't have a consultant, I didn't have someone else write it up. I care about this, I feel for this, so I wrote my own comments. And I'll follow it up with this, or I'll finish off with this. In 1969, a resident of our city was denied entry to a local social organization due to the fact that the memberships to that organization only allowed white males. So if this policy stood in 1969, what would you say about that flag going up? And if it was 1885 when the Connor family lived in this city, what flags do you think would go up that flagpole? Would you still support it the same way you do now if those are the flags that are being flown? Thank you for your time. I hope you all have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, Betty Taylor.
Good evening. My name is Betty Taylor. What I want to talk about, the the proclamation that was given about the Religious Freedom Day. Now, I've never heard of that in my life. Never heard of that. Never heard of it, not until today when I was looking online and I was reviewing the agenda, and I seen the Religious Freedom Day. And so I looked it up. I was like, well, what is this? What does it really mean, you know? And so when I looked it up, it's not just about anybody could receive a proclamation, right? But once you receive that proclamation, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to take the proclamation home and put it on the shelf and forget about it? Or are you going to try to do something that brings change to the city or bring change to your community? Well, there's several suggestions about things and events that can take place in regard to Religious Freedom Day. There could be something like classroom discussions. There could be public lectures and panel discussions. There can also be interfaith dialogue events. There can also be museum exhibits and history programs. There could also be reading and discussions. It could be discussing the Bill of Rights. There can also be community forums on religion. There's many different faiths that we do have in the city. My knowledge is that we have like 62 churches in this community. Well, okay, we do. I belong to the organization which is called Faith Action Network. Now, Faith Action Network is an advocacy group, and it involves an Interfaith Advocacy Day, which is going to be held in Olympia, February 12th, 2026. So Interfaith Advocacy Day is one of the largest gatherings of people of faith in the state capitol. We bring the voices of compassion and justice to our elected leaders, meeting with their legislators and their staff on this day is putting your faith in action. Now, what I want to see, I would like to see faith come to Olympia. I would like to see different faiths come to Olympia. Join the Interfaith Advocacy Day, and let us continue to be one. We are a city of 1,000. We need to be of one faith, period. We can all get together and build this city. We can do it. But it's just not about receiving a proclamation, taking it home, putting on, because what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Put it in a shelf? Or what are you going to do? You're going to tell your neighbors? Or what are you going to do? Or just keep it to yourself? It's not enough.
Thank you, Betty. And now we've got Corey Coase here. He's got several individuals, so for a total of 5 minutes.
You guys want to come stand up?
Up to 5 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. It's Corey Coase, council members, citizens of Federal Way. My name is Corey Coase. I am a member of the William J. Woods Veterans Committee. We are all disabled veterans of different branches of the military that have or still do live at the William J. Woods Veterans House over on 294th and Pacific Avenue. We've all served our time. We have all come back with combat-related injuries. And we are here today after feeling a need for the lack of support and representation from Multi-Service Center, MSC, with providing promises to help rehabilitate and support fellow veterans like us and those behind me and our supporters. You know, I was a former resident there. I recently just left. In my year-and-a-half tenure there, it started out with lots of support and services to help get veterans like myself back on my feet. And over that year-and-a-half, it rapidly declined from no events, no veteran service officers, no health, not checking on residents, increased security, almost feeling like we were, kind of shunned at that point. There was a lot of litigation and back-end drama that was happening within the community, which I feel like greatly detracted from what the purpose of William J. Wood, who is the founder of that Veterans House, meant for, is to give us veterans that served our country a place to rehabilitate, get back on our feet, and then move on. The only reason that I was able to do that is because I happen to be very tenacious and driven, but there's many veterans in that community that don't have the ability to help themselves like I did. MSC was there originally to give me a place to stay, and I rebuilt mostly on my own without the support, but a lot of the veterans of the house were neglected. The staffing became shorter, the services available became shorter, the funding available for emergency financial circumstances was almost non-existent. It got really bad. And then in my personal situation, I finally was able, after being unemployed for almost 2 years, due to my PTSD and a bunch of personal circumstances, within a week and a half of me getting a job before my first paycheck, where there's been a grace period for every other resident, or at least that's what I understand, I was already being immediately requested to provide pay stubs, and all I was doing was trying to get some stability first, which it's meant for, before I moved on. And I was given a 30-day notice that, hey, you're getting paid too much now, and this is reserved for people that are worse off than you. You have to make a decision in 30 days, and I now live in a over at Kids Corner, which is, I believe, is the worst community. But anyways, not too much about myself. Our committee is really here to advocate and support veterans. Behind me is our president, Daniel Weaver, who founded the organization. He has been coming out of pocket with his 100% VA disability rating I've seen him go every day to food banks, drive folks to VA appointments, to helping me out with personal situations, going knocking on doors when some of those that are more disabled than both of us physically could not get out of bed, which is what we believe was what MSC is there for, and it's not happening. So I just wanted to bring it to you, Mr. Mayor, and the council and the citizens that what is happening is not how it's painted, and there are veterans that are suffering or being forced out or whatever it may be. I'm not making huge accusations, but we need some awareness to be brought to this, because I know that the city supports veterans thoroughly, and I know that they support MSC. It's not what it seems, and I've experienced this by being a resident myself for the past year and a half until a few months ago. You've lived there for 6 years?
Going on 8.
Almost 8 years, and then the rest, 4 years. Yeah, so we've all been there, we've experienced it, we witnessed the ups and downs, but it's been a straight decline, and we don't feel like we're being treated fairly. We can't even get the services to the building that we need. So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. We will have, I'll have Bill Vadino reach back out to you and talk about this, and we'll follow up, all right?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Kochmar?
Oh, thank you very much, Mayor. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if we could, I know you're going to talk to Bill, but maybe a suggestion might be asking Multi-Service Center to come in and explain maybe the problems they're having and seeing what we can do to get them some help.
That's right.
Okay? Maybe,
I've spoken with the director once about these concerns. I'll follow back up.
yeah,
with
I think
her.
a formal letter maybe, and something with some teeth, but maybe what they need is another organization to partner with them to.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow up. All right, and we'll keep the council informed. Okay, I'm going to name off the.
If I may, I'm one of those veterans. Oversight was the biggest thing not happening.
All right.
Oversight.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'll go ahead and list off some folks, and then if you can sort of queue up. We've got Doug Stensby. Then we've got Lauren Treacy, Jeffrey Tancredi, Anna Patrick, Katie Astron, Lana Bostic, Mike Peterson, Dr. Janice Clark, Ron Kaler, Tim Burns, George Houston, Reverend Houston, or Pastor. Do you prefer Reverend or Pastor? Pastor, all right, thank you, Pastor. Harold Booker and Carmen Kaler. All right, then there's a couple more too. All right, Doug.
I'm Doug Stensby, and thank you, Mayor Farrell and council members. I've been a resident of Federal Way for 21 years, except for during the council meetings, and then I reside in a chair at the back, as you might know. The last time I spoke here in favor of the current flag proposal, and I still affirm that, although I understand that work might not be completely done yet. I will note that I was here at the last meeting, and for those of you who were sworn in, you were sworn to uphold the Constitution and laws of the United States of America and the state of Washington and the city of Federal Way. So the three flags that are currently flying, I think, are the most demonstrable of that unity that we have that includes everyone. But we would be a poor and ungrateful people if we did not find a way to celebrate people and events and services that make our community better. I'm sorry I will not be able to attend the council retreat, but I would like to offer at least a couple of suggestions. One is that I'm sure there will be a placement of flags and banners or whatever in other places, and this would be a good idea. I would like to see that when those flags and banners are approved, that they be approved either by the mayor and the council or the diversity commission, but there be some sort of a screening that takes place. I happen to know that there are some people in this room who appreciate a good corn dog once in a while. National Corn Dog Day is March the 21st, but I'm not sure that we really need a flag for that. So just to say, there are things that might not work. I would like to say that there should be a benefit that is demonstrated to the community as a whole. There's also national, in August is National Hair Loss Month. I don't know if that's really a benefit to the city, and certainly we sure don't need it for an entire month. The last, suggestion is that whatever is done in terms of other flags and recognitions, there should probably be a time limit of a day or two. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Lauren Treacy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Tracy. I serve as Executive Director of College Possible Washington. We're a local education nonprofit in the area supporting students to and through college. And we've been operating since 2016, but developed a formal partnership with Federal Way in 2017. We're a unique organization in the sense that we support students to and through college. So we recruit students sophomore year of high school, and they have a free advisor who supports them one-on-one with resources and curriculum, also scholarship support, all the way until they get their college degree. We currently serve 150 students here in Federal Way who come from 3 distinct high schools, Thomas Jefferson, Todd Beamer, and Decatur, and are really appreciative of the strong school partnerships we've had there. We believe that there's multiple educational pathways to success and know that there's a lot of thriving opportunities in Federal Way, and so we really seek to support students that are wanting to go to a college or university in the area and then call Federal Way home and contribute to the thriving economy here. It's interesting that we're at, I would say, an interesting inflection point right now in our nation with reduced federal and state funding, and a big question that is covered by anywhere from the New York Times to local papers around the value of a college degree. We feel strongly that our young people have a lot of untapped potential, and we really want to ensure that underrepresented students who historically have not had the opportunity to go to college have the opportunity to do so and can do so as debt-free as possible. And so I know a lot of local local organizations were impacted by federal and state funding cuts, and it seems like there isn't going to be any reprieve on the horizon. And so I've been doing my due diligence and connecting with council members and other folks to just share that College Possible Washington is still here. We received funding cuts, and yet we did not have to reduce the students served nor our school partnerships. And so we've been working with our school leaders at Thomas Jefferson, Todd Beamer, and Decatur, as well as strategic partnerships with Federal Way Public Schools, with district staff. And we're in a position right now to grow our impact. And so I just wanted to take time today to introduce myself, to introduce our organization, and say that we look forward to growing our program more. I think the unique part is while we support 150 unique high school students every year, that number continues to grow as we support them in college. So we're supporting thousands of Federal Way students as they go to college, they get a degree, and they come back here and call this home. So look forward to sharing more about our work and opportunities for investment, and appreciate the time. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Can I ask a question, Mayor?
Yes.
So you didn't mention Federal Way High School?
Our opportunity is to grow into Federal Way High School next year. So working on funding and investment to grow into that partnership.
All right. Councilmember?
Lauren, I just want to say thank you for being here and for introducing yourselves. There's a lot of gold in our community of amazing people, organizations that do powerful work, and so I appreciate you thinking about showing up here to educate us on this, and I look forward to connecting with you very shortly. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Sessoms?
Could you please state your organization's name?
Yes, College Possible Washington.
Councilmember
Thank you.
Kochmar?
Thank you. I was just wondering, maybe Councilmember Honda and Councilmember Hamilton and I all belong to Kiwanis, and maybe Councilmember Honda knows more about this than I do, but talking about every year they provide money for scholarships, and it might be a good thing for you to connect with both those two organizations, which you can do through us, and introduce yourself to them as well.
Absolutely. I look forward to connecting with all of you in the future. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, Jeffrey Tancredi, then Anna Patrick.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Council President, Council members. Jeff Tancredi, resident of Federal Way since 1997, I think. So, first I wanted to thank Chief Wang and the Police Department. There was an encampment at Celebration Park Road and 13th Place South behind Church of Blessing. So, it was pretty bad. So, thanks to Chief. I do the Eyes on Federal Way a couple of times, but sometimes everybody's too busy, so I emailed the chief, and but I don't like to bother, but I didn't want this to linger because it was a massive encampment. So thanks so much, Chief, for all your support, and the police department. And also, I wanted to just, because I've heard that the hotel that's going to serve the drug addicted, the old extended stay, I heard that that's going to start having residents come in there. So I'm just concerned. I just have some issues, just things that are popping up in my mind. Hopefully, there'll be transparency. If there's anybody there that's living there that has a criminal past, if there's anybody there that has been arrested for, convicted for sex offenses, sex predators, or anything like that, it's not a good topic to talk about. But I knocked on every door 2.5 years ago of the people that live in Uptown Square. I met everybody that lives there, and half the people there didn't know what was going on, that there were going to be people living there that have problems with drug addiction, and that there's no requirement for them to have treatment. So I wanted them to be aware of that. So I'm going to probably go over there at some point, I don't know when, and just talk to them. But if you got a lot of little kids, because they were at the door when I knocked with the parents. There's a lot of young children. There's a lot of folks that were not born in the United States. There were Afghan, people from Afghanistan, Ukrainians. I mean, just, everybody. A lot of folks from all over the world. So half of the people didn't even know what was going on with the old extended stay. And some of the people, so anyway, so I talked to all of them. And so anyway, so can that, whatever that contract, can that contract be revoked if the residents don't comply? So there's a lot of questions. Is King County going to be transparent so that we know if then anybody has any criminal background, if there's anybody who's is registered as a sex offender living there, we need to know that, because nobody in this room wants sex offenders living near them, right? We don't want that. And if there are, we want to know who they are. So anyway, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Jeffrey. What we'll do, Jeffrey, what we'll do is let's put that in the parking lot right now, and then when we get all done with public comment, I'll have our city administrator and our city CD director address a couple of your questions with regard to that, specifically with regard to licensure and requirements. Okay? Thank you very much. Anna Patrick. And then Katie Astron.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Publicly funded programs such as CDBG and Human Services grants are vital tools for addressing real community needs, but they must operate with accountability and measurable outcomes. Need-based funding should rely on objective, verifiable criteria such as poverty, housing, or food insecurity, unemployment, or trauma exposure. Funding must address the need itself, not ideology, identity, or political alignment. Unless identity is tied to a specific, measurable outcome, programs must define eligibility, track results, and maintain transparent and publicly accountable. A key concern arises when leaders of funded organizations personally donate to candidates who approve those grants or policies. Even if legal, this creates the appearance of a feedback loop where funding may reflect political support rather than community impact. Public resources must serve the community, not politics. Past issues with the Federal Way Day Center show risk when licensing isn't enforced, law enforcement access is denied, or programs inadvertently provide refuge for individuals following alleged criminal activity. Funding should require compliance with licensing, operational standards, coordination with law enforcement, and measurable outcomes. We should also be cautious with capacity building grants for organizations that oversee other nonprofits, especially those already well funded. Funding should strengthen programs, not channel money through intermediaries. And leadership should be verified to ensure previously problematic organizations are not operating under a new name. Before awarding grants, the city should ask, what needs are being met in Federal Way specifically, and are they verifiable needs? Who benefits and what measurable outcomes show success? Strong governance means linking funding to results, enforcing rules, maintaining transparency, and separating service delivery from political influence. Public funds work best when they are objective, accountable, and trusted, and nonprofits must supplement, not replace, core government functions, including public safety. And with this last 23 seconds, I'd like to make one statement about this recent proclamation, religious proclamation. I recently addressed issues with Senate Bill 5375 that protects attorney-client privilege while interfering with the sacrament of confession for Catholic priests. In light of this proclamation and as we begin the new legislative session, we expect fair and equal treatment for all faiths and encourage lawmakers to encourage that policies respect religious freedom and equality under the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Astron, and then Lana Bostic.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, and fellow residents of Federal Way. My name is Katie Astron, and I am a current member on the Arts Commission. And today I want to talk to you guys about the Operations and Maintenance Facility. I had previously spoken before at a council meeting back in October, but tonight the council is supposed to be voting on what commissioned art is going to be placed at the facility. And I kind of wanted to bring attention that out of the 3 finalists, only 2 of them are being presented, from my understanding, to the council as proposals, when at the beginning of this project, the budget was finalized back in April, and As of October, I was assured that it had not changed since then, that there was approximately, just a smidge below, $175,000 for the commissioned art. And with this in light, there are 3 finalists who all earned the $2,000 for their proposals. I believe were determined sometime around late August, early September, but my question is, with the budget having not moved whatsoever, how come the artists were not able to be within this budget frame? I think Sasquatch would be a really interesting idea to bring to the table for a proposal for art like this, especially considering our light rail is using it as a figure, as well as the public market is also using it as a figure. It could be a really interesting way for us to brand ourselves and differentiate ourselves, especially considering we lack public art in comparison to fellow cities like Seattle, Tacoma, and even Auburn. And so I wonder if there's a way that we can work with the artists to get a proposal that's within this $175,000 range that's feasible. I know that they've talked about things like trails and stuff like that, but with the nature of this facility, I don't think it's necessary that we attract people to it. But I wonder if there's a way that we can kind of mitigate with that proposal to still bring Sasquatch, but not necessarily bring trails. That way we can still effectively use the money that we spent, that $2,000, for a proposal that we're not seeing tonight. So I just want to bring this to the attention of the council, and I ask that everyone is mindful in their decision and that each of you take great consideration into the proposal of these arts, as well as each of the art pieces' longevity. If it's going to be up there for a while, I think it's great to consider what they're being made out of, especially since we have that streamway going down to Steel Lake. There's already concerns with the oil and fuel coming from the maintenance facility. And so I think it's really important that we also consider the materials that are being used, whether that's raw steel. I saw images of some of the previous arts that some of the artists had done, and that's another concern I had, was just there was leakage of rust from certain pieces, and I don't know if that'd be an adequate area for that wall. But I hope to get some more information and see you guys have some more options for proposals since we've paid for it. Thank you.
Lana Bostic.
Hello, Mayor Farrell and Council President Moore, Council. My name is Lana Bostic. I've lived in Federal Way since 1981. I just have 2 kind of quick things today. First of all, I wanted to just voice my concern about the drones and the flock cameras. I saw a lot of people at the last council meeting who did a lot of research about the flock cameras, and I think that they are not a good idea to have as they are right now. I want to be sure that they're not able to, that ICE is not able to get any information from them. So I think that really needs to be looked at. I think that we shouldn't spend money on getting any more, and definitely not on getting drones. I think that we should try to make our community more kind and welcoming rather than scaring people. So that's my thought about that. The second thing, I'd like to publicly thank the Federal Way Police Department and Chief Wang, because I am part of a group that stands at the corner of 320th and Pack Highway every Sunday, where the South End Friends for Peace and Justice, and we have a peaceful protest every Sunday, and we've never had any problems. I've also am part of the group that organizes the larger resistance protests that we've had, the No Kings and the Hands Off protests that we've had in Federal Way, and we've always had good support from the police, so thank you, Chief Wang. They've always been, we've never had any problems, but I've always felt good to just to let them know what's going on. And sometimes people ask me, why are the police here? And I just say, they're here because of us, to protect us. And so I just appreciate that and working with them, and hopefully we can carry on. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Peterson. Mayor, council members, and council president, I think I got that right. My name is Mike. I've been a resident here in Federal Way for over 36 years. I've raised a family here.
And usually I watch these meetings from the comfort of my home. I thought I'd pop in today and express a couple concerns on a few topics. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., there's a City Planning Commission meeting, and they're holding a meeting, and they're going to be talking, the topic is an agenda proposed change to the comprehensive plan, land use map, 16-acre parcel located at the intersection of 320th and First Avenue. The proposed change would transition the land from commercial to residential 2. Currently, right now, I oppose this change. I would like to express my opposition to this proposed change. It would be best for our community to leave this zone for commercial. We all know when planned communities are put in, certain percentages are allocated for low income or subsidized housing. Do we really need more of this? We already have Park 16, completely changed Todd Beamer from what it used to be. Uptown keeps me and my family from shopping at Safeway in that area. In Kitts Corner, I worked at a business there for almost 30 years, and every other week we had mattresses and trash thrown over the fence, etc. So I believe it's essential to prioritize the development of our town square area, mall, before encroaching on established neighborhoods, such as Campus Woods, The Ridge, Campus Highlands, just to name a few, before we start adding more fragmented housing solutions. Let's be fair to the people of the city and quit making it worse. I've observed many adults in their 30s and 40s, change the subject, who were born and raised in Federal Way, went to school here, and they have purchased homes in other areas. It wasn't due to affordability. They bought houses in Puyallup, Milton, Bellevue, Northeast Tacoma. It was due to the obvious changes in the city from the decisions that have been made to allow more apartments and low-income housing. These young adults hesitate to send their kids to our schools. While the school district is not directly responsible for this situation, the city's development patterns have played a crucial role in the changing of our schools. I strongly urge the citizens of Federal Way to continue your support of our schools in their efforts to pass the school levy. As our city continues to evolve, it's imperative that we provide support to neighborhoods experiencing an influx of vehicles, expired tags, commercial vehicles are being parked in our neighborhoods, obstructing sidewalks, causing inconvenience, along with dilapidated motorhomes parked in our neighborhoods. I want to reach out and say thank you to the Federal Way Police Department, Thaddeus, if he's here, Thaddeus, and I also like to thank Officer Butts for their support in helping keep our neighborhoods organized, I guess, clean. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we've got Dr. Janice Clark, Ron Kaler, Tim Burns, Pastor George Houston, and Harold Booker, and Carmen Kaler. All right, Dr. Clark.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, President of the Council, and the entire council body. I want to give a shout out to Commissioner Juan Juarez Ramos. I hope I didn't chop his name up too much, the youngest commissioner on the Lake Haven Water and Sewer District, to Thomas Jefferson, TJ High School, and also to Decatur High School Gators in supporting the young people at the 24th, I believe it was, or 64th annual tournament, offering individual events, a congressional debate, and various debate formats. And according to AI, they started last year, 25, added the spoken word poetry. And I'm proud to say that my granddaughter, who's also a senior, graduating senior at Decatur High School, and in the Running Start program at Pierce College, my alma mater, one of them anyway, she came in as the champion in the spoken word. And I'm grateful. Yeah, that's a hand clap, yes, because we talk about young people, and I know that Mr. Moore, when he was sworn in, he talked about his commitment to continue to young people. So I'm excited to see, and she has spoke before this council because she's the president of the Black Student Union there at Decatur High School. So I really wanted to, I was so grateful a whole day there, but I was so grateful to see the adults at TJ and Decatur, Ms. Piles, who was their teacher and advisor for those young people. And first, second, third position, or champion, second and third, first, second, they all came from Decatur High School, and that was amazing to me and to experience that. And last, certainly, all of her family. Her name is Imani Randall. Her family, loved ones, and friends, in which, of course, her father, Mr. Randall, and my daughter, Ms. Thomas, are very proud parents. But I believe I'm the most proud as a grand, probably in competition with her other grandparents who live on the East Coast. And then certainly last but not least, Mr. Mayor and Bill, I do want to thank you for your continued commitment to veterans and to staying engaged to ensure that the issues that were raised, that I've been raising, especially for women veterans here, not only in Federal Way, but King County and throughout the 39 counties. But I'm grateful, and I'm a little choked up right now because the previous veterans that stood up here, if I'd known they'd been here, I would have been standing with them. And I definitely, and I won't talk on the mic about it, and I'm closing, wrapping up, that I have some grave concerns as well. And I would love to be invited to the meeting so we can work through those issues, and thank you.
Thank you.
Uncle.
Thank you. Ron Kaler.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, president. My name is Ron Kaler. I'm a 33-year resident of Federal Way, raised my children here. And I want to have a little reference back on that flag policy. I remember it was years ago when you guys were deliberating to do this alternative flag policy, and I spoke up about that, and that if you open that door, you're going to open up a can of worms and stuff. And here we are today, still, after years ago, discussing the flag policy. There was a great suggestion I heard in the last Diversity Commission meeting I attended to provide not provide really, but to have an established pavilion, flag pavilion, somewhere in the city that could be utilized for multiple cultural or country flags, not on city property, that could be used or funded by contributing city members and individuals, that they could get their flags out there. My wife said, make sure they put up a Chilean flag. She's Chilean. But all kinds of flags up there that would really pretty much satisfy the flag policy, and it would hold what we have, the policy, and that would, I think, would be a really good thing for our city. The other item I have is, at the last council member, where you had the nomination process going on here, I was really taken aback by the comments by nominees. I was found it very offensive and disrespectful towards other council member, and it didn't need to be. It sounded more like I'm preaching to the public my position and trying to sell that person to the public in lieu of having a positive reflection of the position of council president and being respectful. I found it very disturbing. I know there were other people that felt the same way, and I really expect this city council to be one of integrity, truthfulness, and honesty, and respect amongst everyone, each other, as you are constituents here, and members of the same group, that your behind-the-scenes communications are very respectful and honest to each other. And the integrity needs to be maintained in this council. And I just wanted to bring back that up. And also with the rezoning one, I don't want that rezoned either, because I only live a few houses away from that property. Thank you very much.
Tim Burns. And then Pastor Houston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm a resident of Federal Way since 1986. I am a diehard Mariners fan, and I was excited this last weekend to see the Seahawks move on in the playoff picture. The city of Seattle raised the 12 flag, and I realized that due to the flag ordinance in the city of Federal Way, we are not going to be able to raise the 12 flag. And I find that to be bigoted, amongst other things, ill-advised. I would hope that the city council, with the new members, might reverse that position and reinstate the ability of all flags to be raised in the city of Federal Way. Not without some discretion, but I think the idea of a flag pavilion is a good one. That should have been incorporated with the flag policy. And I look forward to the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl, and I will have a flag up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Pastor George Houston, and then Harold Booker.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. I'm Commissioner George Houston, and I am speaking on behalf of the Diversity Commission. I'd like to begin first by welcoming our new council members. We appreciate your willingness to serve, and we look forward to building thoughtful, collaborative partnerships with you as you step into leadership for our city. I am here tonight to continue the conversation regarding the council's October 21st decision to change the flagpole policy for City Hall. Now, while we shared previously that the commission was disappointed not to have been part of the conversation before this item came forward for decision, particularly given our role under the city code to advise the council on issues of equity, inclusion, access, and belonging. We are here today to focus on a more inclusive, community-informed path forward. We recognize that decisions involving public symbols are complex. At the same time, we also know that recognition matters. For many residents, especially those from historically marginalized communities, symbolic recognition by the city communicates visibility, belonging, and trust. For some, seeing themselves acknowledged by City Hall may be one of the few visible signs that their city sees them. When recognition is removed without community engagement, it can unintentionally cause harm and erode confidence and trust in local government. The commission believes there is a constructive way forward that is grounded in listening, transparency, and partnership. So tonight, we bring forward two specific requests of the council. First, we respectfully ask the council to authorize the Diversity Commission to gather input from the community on options relating to flag raising and other forms of recognition. This will include engaging residents and community stakeholders, exploring a range of approaches, and developing thoughtful options. We would then bring these options and a proposal back to the council for your consideration. Do I have 1 minute?
Not a full minute, Pastor,
Okay.
maybe just a couple.
Okay, second, we
sentences.
ask that the council consider reversing their previous decision. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Pastor Houston, this isn't in regards to that, but we were expecting another pastor to be here for the proclamation of Religious Freedom Day. I'd like to present this
is
to
that
you
Joe
since he was not.
Bowman?
It was actually Gordon Banks.
Gordon Banks, okay.
Joe Bowman is with his son at a basketball game right now, or he should be with his family.
Exactly.
All right, I will make sure Gordon Banks gets this. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Pastor. And you're absolutely right. It's exactly where he needs to be. Okay, Harold Booker. And then, and also, actually, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we are going to talk at the count. Did I ever say this? That we're going to talk about this at the retreat. So this is a good reason to get a free breakfast, free lunch, and hear all about the, and maybe even have an impact on the, which way we're going to go, which way the council is going to go with regard to flag policy. With that, Mr. Booker, I'll stop talking. It's your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, council president. I'm Harold Booker. I've been a resident of Federal Way since 1963. I currently live in the Dash Point region of this city. I rose today to actually thank the council and the city staff. I was recently elected as a commissioner and have been trying to ramp up to get to know about the Human Services Commission and our process. And my interactions with Keith and Layla and Angelina, thank you, total blank, have been nothing but professional. They've gone out of their way to answer my questions and assist me in getting up to speed. You should be very proud of the city staff that is helping to assist with those commissions. They have full-time jobs, and they do an excellent job in making time to work with us. Really appreciate it. Now I'm going to transition to a subject. Former Councilmember McDaniels spoke earlier this evening, and it offended me substantially. He did not reference or is unaware of the actual facts of what occurred in 1969 when my father applied to join the Federal Way Elks. The local team passed that on. They knew dang well who my father was. They ignored that he didn't fill out the form, and it went on to the National Committee. The National Committee in New York are the folks who rejected it. The folks who came to our house to hand back the application and say, no, you cannot attend, were from Puyallup, Auburn, and Seattle. All of the people from Federal Way, they were nowhere to be seen because they were willing to go against the national organization. Councilmember McDaniels, former Councilmember McDaniels, twisted that story and spoke inaccurately. If he wants to speak about something, he should come and talk to somebody and actually figure out what happened. Sorry, made me mad. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
And thank you. Thank you, Mr. Booker. And many people may recall that we honored his father, Mr. Booker, here in this council chambers, along with the many people that were involved in the Civil Rights Committee that were from Federal Way, of which there were many members of the community who stood up. But Harold, your father was a real pioneer and a real leader. Thank you. Carmen Kaler.
She had to leave.
Oh, okay. All right. Daughter, we miss her. All right. Okay, do we have any other public comment? All right. Do we have anybody online? Okay, all right, thank you. You know, this is the most important thing we do every meeting, to hear from our constituents, to hear from the people we work for, which is you. So thank you so much for your heartfelt comments. Oh, we did have a couple of questions. With regard to the extended stay, Should we start with Brian, and then maybe if Keith has anything? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I did meet with Mr. Tancredi in the hallway. I did provide him the code that the council passed in '22 and then revised in '24 with regards to licensing of permanent supportive housing. So that's there for his information. Generally, it speaks to that facilities need to obtain a license from the city, and it provides criteria for which the licenses are given and also potentially revoked if they don't comply. Some of the criteria are having a point of contact, security plan, no possession of drugs, things of that nature. And again, it's if they are out of compliance, that it can be potentially revoked. It should also be mentioned that the permanent supportive housing facility, the extended stay, is by the code's regard, is, as the name implies, it's permanent housing, but it's supportive housing of those who need just a little extra assistance. So it's, in many respects, it's regarded no differently than any other multifamily housing facility in Federal Way. If there's a sex offender, they would have to register just like any other location in the city, and then they would be notified accordingly. If there's a crime on the premises, it would be prosecuted according to the laws of the city, state, and so forth. So in that respect, the facility is no different, but the council did impose additional licenses for those facilities, and I did provide Mr. Tancredi with that information in the hallway.
Very good, thank you. Keith, anything to add?
So I'm going to draw a parallel to the conversation we heard this evening with William J. Wood. A lot of the operation of these type of housing is reliant upon the management, and Booker House will be managed by the Urban League, and we will make sure that they comply with all of the code requirements and licensing standards that we have in the city.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Okay, and then, EJ, do you have any that Ms. Estron asked about the O&M facility? I know that we've got that on the agenda later on, but in regard, did you have any comment on any, or follow-up with regard to any of the questions that were asked?
Not specifically. Is there something you want me to address on that?
I think it was about the cost and about...
Yeah, so the original presentation from the artist assumed that the city would provide landscaping and the additional improvements outside of their scope of work. That was not something that was contemplated in the request for proposals, and frankly not in the project budget. But that was an assumption they made. So that effectively disqualified that bidder. That's why they've been removed.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And of course, we're going to have the presentation a little bit later, so if any questions come out about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, everybody, once again. All right, now we're on to item 5. These are our consent agenda items. These items have gone through committee, can be passed all at once, or after I read them, I'll ask if any of the council members want to pull any items for separate consideration. All right, item A, approve the minutes for the January 6, 2026 City Council special meeting and regular meeting. Item B, the Association of Washington Cities, AWC Center for Quality Communities, CQC, Scholarship Recipient Letter of Recommendation. Item C, City Hall Southgate Replacement Project Acceptance. Item D, Kana Playground Equipment Project Acceptance. Item E, the 2026 Arts Commission Work Plan. Item F, City Hall Elevator Modernization Contract Authorization to Bid. Item G, PAC Emergency Inverter Battery Replacement Project Acceptance. Item H, 2026 to 2031 King County Parks Levy Acceptance. Item I, award contract to FRN Group for Federal Way Community Center, FWCC, Landscape Services. Item J, the 2026 Diversity Commission Annual Work Plan. Council, out of those items, are there any you would want pulled for separate consideration? Okay. Council President Moore.
Yes, I move approval of the consent agenda items A through J, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
There's been a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matters passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, now, moving on to item 6, council business. We have item 6A, council confirmation, the 2026 to 2027 committee chair appointments. Heather Dumlow, our city clerk, will provide the brief report.
Mayor, thank you. The committee appointments are included in the packet, and I believe Council President Moore will share a bit more about it.
If that's okay.
All right, Council President Moore?
Thank you, Mayor, and Heather, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for all the council members that have responded to their desires and interests, and it is with great pleasure that I share with the public that I am proposing that the Finance, Economic Development, and Regional Affairs Committee, the chair of that will be Councilmember Susan Honda. A committee member will be Linda Kochmar, and committee member will also be Jack Walsh. Moving on to Land Use and Transportation Committee, known as LUTC. I am pleased to propose that Jack Walsh will be the chair. Councilmember Susan Honda and Melissa Hamilton will be the members of that committee. And last but not least, Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee. I love that name of that committee. It's a long one. It's a good one. The chair of that shall be Les Sessions, and council members Hamilton and Lydia Safadasan will also be on that committee. And last but not least, the Lodging, Tax, and Advisory Committee, the chair will be continued to be led by Councilmember Lydia Safadasan. So with that, that is my recommendations for the 2026-2027 City Council Committee appointments.
And is that your motion?
So with that, Mr. Mayor, I move approval of council committee appointments as presented. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second. Is there a discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember Kochmar?
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you very much. I would just like to make a small change, and I have talked, part of the issue is on the Parks, Recreation, Human Services, Public Safety Committee. That's a pretty heavy committee. And on that committee, we have 2 new council members, along with a current council member who's already a chair of another committee. And so I would like to just make a quick change, and I've asked, Les is a wonderful person. I really like you, Les. You're a really nice guy. But, you know, I think he has a little time to get caught up with everything. This is a pretty heavy committee. Whereas Melissa, who's also on the committee, has been at every city committee, council meeting for the last 3 years. She was she was an employee of the police department. I'm sorry, I wrote down her resume, and she has so much on it, I lost it. She is a person who is been very much involved in the city, and I think that she could step in with a short learning period. And also, she lives next to a park, Still Lake Park, which I think Parks is going to be a big part of this committee. But she would be able to step in and be able to take over very rapidly, and I see that. And I think Les will be wonderful on the committee, and he'll be able to pick up very quickly. But I'd like to make a slight amendment, which would make Melissa the chair, leaving Les on the committee along with Lydia Sepidawson. So that's my amendment to the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion to amend. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion, a second, and for discussion, Council President.
I mean, I have, look, quite fascinating, Councilmember Kochmar. I would encourage my colleagues to vote no on this. I have every confidence in Councilmember Sessions in leading this, and quite frankly, the members of this committee are a team. I expect them to work together. Staff does an amazing job of supporting all the council members, regardless if you're new or not. And I have every confidence of Councilmember Sessions in leading that committee. If you look at his background, if you have had time to talk with him, you'll know that he's ready and prepared to be the chair of that committee. And quite frankly, I think it can be quite. I have to say I'm disappointed because I think you're questioning somebody's character. I think you're questioning someone's leadership, and I think that's concerning because Councilmember Sessions is a very strong leader, and I think is ready to step into this role. as chair. So I would encourage my colleagues to vote no on this. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Sefadossin?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I don't know where to begin, but this happened several years ago when I was on the Parks and Recreation Committee. We had a brand newly elected council member to chair that committee. And I don't think, I did try to challenge it just because of that same thing, somebody who just is brand new on the council. And that person's done a phenomenal job. And so for this to even be a discussion right now, I'm not sure, but I support Les. And also he has an incredible background and history, and he's worked with, he works at the University of Washington now. And so I don't think he's going to have any problem doing a good job as the chair of the committee. And like Martin said, staff is there to support. I've been on the committee for a long time. I'm here to support. And I'm not negating or saying that Melissa won't do a good job, but I think the way it is now is something that I'm comfortable with, and I would like it to continue the way it's set up. And I don't know if you and Les have had any conversation about this, and maybe you and Melissa have had, and, I'm saying all this assuming, because I didn't know this was going to happen, assuming that Les is okay with this change. But I personally like it the way it is. Thank you for your time.
All right, Councilmember Kochmar and then Councilmember Honda.
Oh, thank you very much. I did talk to Les ahead of time, and I did talk with staff ahead of time, and I did talk with several other council members ahead of time. And Councilmember Moore, please do not put words in my mouth. I appreciate that. I didn't say anything to you. I am simply saying what I believe. And Councilmember Sefadossin, as you felt in the past, that's the way I feel now. And I knew that this would probably go down in defeat, but I think that some things need to be said. And as we all are worried about the community and moving forward with the community, it is harder for me to say this now. I could sit as a mouse and not say anything at all. And I'm sure that Les will probably pick up things over time. I am just saying that I think that perhaps we could move forward more quickly. But I appreciate us all being able to work together and say what we think, all right? And so thank you. I fully expected that this is what would happen, but I needed to say what I believe. Thank you.
Yeah, again, unless Councilmember Les is saying that, yeah, I'd rather not do the chair position, I don't think it should even be a discussion, because he's taken the role, he's accepted it, and it's something that he believes he can accomplish or do, so, yeah, that's my comment.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Honda?
My first 4 years on the city council, I was chair of parks. And the fifth year, we had a new council member join us. The council member had never been to council meetings, never been to a parks meeting, and he was made Parks of Chair, the chair of the Parks Committee, and he did okay. So this isn't the first time this has happened. I support the council president's recommendations, and this is a very unusual circumstance. The discussion we're having, I appreciate that everybody has a voice here and everyone has the right to speak what they feel, and I appreciate that you brought this to us. But I do support Councilmember Sessions as a chair of the Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee. Thank you.
Okay, we've got Council President Moore, Councilmember Sessoms, and then Councilmember Hamilton.
I think it is important that everybody gets to say what they want to say and speak their minds on this dais. I think that's very, very important, just like it's also important for me to say what's on my mind. And so I value that, and I think that's important. I think also something to consider also is that really at the end of the day, I think one of the things that makes us an incredible council is the fact that we all do a pretty darn good job of supporting each other and lifting each other's up and making sure that we're all successful. Because when we're successful on the dais, that means the public is being served at full capacity. And I think that's our job at the end of the day. And I don't make this lightly in terms of putting Councilmember Sessoms as chair of this committee. And And I also feel like it's my job to support individuals and encourage them to step up and lead. And that's the goal that I want to see with all of our council members. And that's what I see as my role as council president, is to uplift everybody and encourage everybody and make sure that everybody's voice is being heard, just like yours, Councilmember Coachmar. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Walsh.
One thing I want Les to know is that I will support him 100% as chair. I do, however, think that 4 years ago right now, at this meeting, I was being appointed as the chair of the Parks Committee, and I was new on the council. However, I'd served several years on the Human Services Commission and also been extensively involved with the Parks Department for probably 15 years before that, and so I had a lot of background and experience with it. Just with Melissa's greater experience, I think that she'd be more appropriate to chair. However, if not, I want to make sure that Les knows that I am in no way, I think that he can do a great job. I think that Melissa's more prepared for it. However, it's certainly nothing absolutely against you, and I want you to know that, okay?
All right, Councilmember Sessoms.
Thank you, Council President, for your appointment. And thank you, Councilmember Jack Walsh and Linda Kochmar. And thank you, Council Member Lydia Asafa Dawson and Council Member Susan Honda. All I could say is that I am going to do what I said on the campaign trail. When I set out for this office, I told myself and my family and my neighbors that I am going to pour my heart into this job. It's more than a part-time job. This leadership position is much more than that to me. And I am going to demonstrate to everyone that I am fully capable to lead position number 6, not just a slice of Federal Way, but all of Federal Way. Under my leadership, I am going to take this committee to do wonderful, wonderful, impactful things. I just can't find the words right now. I apologize. But I am passionate, I am committed to you all to make sure that I am going to do the best job possible to earn the respect of my colleagues who have their reservations. I respect that. But I am going to be committed to change minds. I am going to earn your vote should I decide to run again. But I am going to make sure I do everything possible to make sure that I work collaboratively, with integrity, to move this city forward. Federal Way has a lot of things we have to get in place. And I believe I have the leadership background, a 30-year career in workforce development. I have worked in human services before. I have worked with people my whole career. So with that, I accept, if I'm using the right lingo, your nomination. I will bring passion and integrity to this role. So thank you, Council President.
Councilmember Hamilton, and then Councilmember Kochmar.
Thank you, Mayor. This is very awkward for me. I want the public to know that I did not know that this conversation was going to be coming up. I was ready to just approve the positions as they were. I didn't know it was going to be coming up until right before the meeting tonight. But I do appreciate the conversation that we're having, and I do also appreciate the belief and recognizing my expertise, especially in public safety. I know how this vote is going to go, and I want Council Member Les Sessoms to know that I will be behind you, and I will also work with you and collaborate with you to hopefully make this committee the best committee it can be, because we do need to work together to move the best policies forward. So, but thank you, for your kind words and for recognizing the expertise in myself, especially with public safety.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Kochmar?
Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to have happen. Exactly. I knew exactly what would happen, and I did tell Les ahead of time that I knew it would fail. He already knew what I was going to say. And so, but I wanted to have this discussion to make sure, and I thank you very much. Now I feel much more confident with you as well. And so thank you. As I said before, you're a lovely man, and I'm sure you will do well. It's just that you're going to be drinking from a fire hose for a while. So in the meantime, I'm going to withdraw my amendment. Thank you, and I'm sure you'll withdraw your second. Yes, thank you. And we'll just move forward with it.
Okay, the motion to amend has been withdrawn, and that second as well. Now we're on to the main motion, which is to approve the committee recommendations as presented by the council president. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the matter passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, now moving on to item B. This is award contract, Joint Operations and Maintenance Facility ARP Project. Desiree Winkler, our Deputy Public Works Director, will give, oh, there you are, will give a brief presentation. And I was looking over there, I didn't see it, so I think you're hiding behind the podium.
I moved.
Yes, you did.
I moved. I had to run back and get another bite of food to eat. So, Good evening, Mayor, Council President Moore, members of the council. I am pleased to present our recommendation for the Joint Operation and Maintenance Facility ART Project Award. So, I just wanted to kind of give a little bit more background that we're at the tail end of this absolutely wonderful project, okay? I am so grateful to the council members, mayor, that are here today, and the previous council members that have supported this project that has been going on for years and has been contemplated and needed for decades. A brand-new operation maintenance facility where our crews have somewhere to store their equipment so that it's well-maintained, doesn't get vandalized or stolen on the regular basis, that they can effectively do their work. And so this art project is it's at the end of this over $50 million project. Whatever you decide tonight, I am forever grateful and very excited for our staff and this facility. So in earnest, starting in about 2020 to present, we're planning, programming, designing, determining the site, doing property acquisition, and we're in construction, about 85% of the way there, of the Joint Operation Maintenance Facility. In accordance to our code, it requires art. Art was incorporated into the project design. $175,000 was available for commissioned artwork to be installed along the project frontage. Because as we discussed in our last meeting, this public art, where are you going to put public art in a facility the public can't go inside? And the largest area is along the project frontage. So March 2025, Director Walsh provided a presentation to City Council regarding the 2% for the arts as related to this project. He outlined the code, he outlined the process for incorporating art, which was consistent with the most recent major capital project where art was incorporated, the Performing Arts and Event Center, or PAC. It was consistent with that project, with that process, as well as city purchasing policies. So from July 2025, November 2025, a call of art to artists was issued. It was consistent with the process that was presented in March 2025. The call detailed the process by which the artists would be evaluated and selected. Artists were evaluated on meeting the project goals, including honoring the work and workers associated with the operation and maintenance facility, speak to the natural beauty of our city, fit the location and scale, and ease of maintenance with materials and construction. So an Arts Advisory Committee was formed consisting of city staff and members of the Arts Commission. They evaluated over 140 statements of qualifications. They narrowed it down to 3 finalists who were given some time to put their proposals together, consistent with the RFP process, and they presented it to the committee on November 20th, 2025. The committee, after thoughtful discussion, came to a unanimous consensus to award the project to Tovanar Meridian for her art proposal, Federal Way Operation and Maintenance, 4 seasons of dedicated care. So December 2nd, staff presented council with a recommendation to award the project to Tovanar Meridian, consistent with the Arts Committee's recommendation. Staff determined that the Sasquatch proposal was non-responsive, primarily due to the budget considerations. Staff presented all 3 proposals, goodness, for council information. City Council at that point requested to table the action, have the artists keep their artwork at City Hall to review, and get additional information on proposal costs. The artwork remained in council chambers from December 2nd, 2025 to January 6th, 2026. On January 6, 2026, staff presented council with a recommendation to award the art project to Tovanar Meridian. Staff provided updated budget info on all 3 finalist proposals, and council requested to table the decision. January 7 to January 16, 2026, art from the 2 responsive proposals were moved to council offices. 2 proposals were placed on the city website for public review and comment. Public feedback through January 16th of 11 responses favored the recommended proposal, Tovanar Meridian, 4 seasons. So at this point, the options considered are to award the Joint Operation and Maintenance Facility artwork project to Tovanar Meridian for a not to exceed amount of $175,000 and authorize mayor to execute related agreements, or do not approve the proposed contract award and provide direction to staff. The recommendation of staff and the mayor is option 1. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, council, any questions? Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. So when we voted to build the maintenance and operations yard, I was very excited. Not only that we needed this facility, and we needed it for a very long time, but we were going to get a chance for more public art. And I love public art. When I was doing some research on what I was going to say tonight, I ran across a newspaper article from the Federal Way Mirror from 2010 when I was chair of the Arts Commission. And I was being interviewed on public art in Federal Way because we had just done the first ever video on public art in Federal Way, trying to let the public know that we had art at Still Lake, and we had art at City Hall, and we had art at the community center and other places here in Federal Way, because the public, we felt as an Arts Commission, didn't know where our public art was. And I'm very grateful for that first council, when we were formed as a city in 1990, that they decided that 2% of new buildings that the city built would be used for public art, because most of the time it's 1%. And that council, in reading the minutes from that meeting, those meetings when they were making this decision, knew that this city lacked public art, and they wanted to build and have the ability to bring more public art to Federal Way. I have served on several public art committees for the schools, for our libraries, and I joined the Arts Commission when the community center was being built, and was a a small part of the public art that was decided there. So I was really excited. The process for doing the public art at this facility has not gone the way that I expected. The project is over $50 million, and we have $175,000 for public art. So that was a bit disappointing. The Public Art Committee, to choose the art, is made up mostly of staff, which is also unusual. And there were 2 art commissioners on that, and the rest were staff. That was unusual. This art is for the public. It's for the public as they drive along and they look at the facility. It's not necessarily for the staff who work at the facility, but it's for the public. And it will be with us for a very, very long time. So it may not be perfect, but it needs to be good. When we were presented with the 3 options, the Sasquatch option and the 2 other options, there was quite the lively discussion on the dais about the Sasquatch option and what that could bring to Federal Way. We lack some excitement in Federal Way. Sasquatch, having a family of Sasquatch, I think people would come to it. I think they might travel down on light rail to see what Federal Way is all about and go over and look at that, and then go to Steel Lake Park and enjoy themselves, and maybe go to the PAC, maybe have a meal at one of our amazing restaurants, maybe do some shopping. But it was something that could potentially bring people here to Federal Way, and I was very excited about that. When we were initially presented in December with the options, the 3 options, the Sasquatch project was the only one who had a budget amount with it. The other 2 didn't have a budget amount with it. And when I asked about that, staff said that they would remain within budget. And then we found out that the Sasquatch project was going to need landscaping. And the budget for that was blown out of the water. And my question on that landscaping is, in July of 2024, and I have a photo of it, there was a document about the landscaping that's going to be at the maintenance and operations yard. So there's already budgeted for landscaping there. And what I'd like to know tonight is why the Sasquatch project would require additional landscaping from what was originally budgeted for the landscaping there.
All right, Desiree?
Could you answer that?
I can. The original landscaping that is going to be installed with this is fairly minimalistic. It's grass and ground cover that's mowable, along with some trees. That's it. Mainly because we don't have the resources to add a park to maintain it. So when the proposal came in for basically a mini park that required pathways, curbing, gravel, lighting, seating areas, that was not contemplated. The capital costs nor the ongoing maintenance for adding basically a park.
Then why was that presented to the council?
It was presented to council so that you could see what the final 3 options were.
If it was something that we could not afford and was going to be pulled before the vote, why was it should never have been presented to council?
In hindsight, probably should not have been presented to council.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, council, any other questions? Councilmember Walsh?
I think that the proposal before us now is what we need to accept. However, I do think that we need to put this whole Sasquatch idea on the not on the back burner, but on the front burner for future things, because I think that it can help put Federal Way on the map. Personally, I wish that with the light rail station, you're familiar with the
Tiffany
the
Man.
trolls what's his name that does the trolls all around the place? Personally, I think that there ought to be a Sasquatch, kind of like one of those trolls, looking down into the light rail station. I mean, that would be something that'd bring people here. Unfortunately, we don't have control of what the art is in the light rail station. At least we have it so there's not an elephant on a pole, but I mean, but our influence is limited.
The elephant probably would have brought people here.
I don't know. So
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons. Yes. So anyway, but I think that is something that needs to be looked at in the future, and perhaps working with that artist as well. As far as the 2% goes, something I think that we should consider for the future is I think it should be 2% of the project, 2% for the arts, of the project that is accessible to the public. I mean, if there's something that the public can't go into, it doesn't make sense to do 2% of the arts for that. I support the arts, and I'm glad that it's 2%, not 1%. But I think that we need to make the ordinance fit the situation. And I believe that is something that we should look at in the future to modify that ordinance. So
We
the
are.
2% for the arts fits the right way. So,
We are looking at that. But thank you. Councilmember Kuchmar?
Well, thank you, Mayor. As we've discussed before, I do like the Sasquatch idea, but I don't think it's going to fit there, primarily because it would be called what is it? Ryan? An attractive nuisance. Because you'll have children or people wanting to go over and take pictures with it, and it's a very busy street, not to mention the very large vehicles that will be exiting that facility. But beyond that, the whole project was not conforming because it was they didn't have all of the costs involved, and it's way over our budget. So I do like the Sasquatch idea, but maybe in other parts of the city. But I think we should just go with staff recommendation for now, and then talk about later other things like getting other people involved when we're making decisions like this, or getting maybe discussing whether or not most cities have 1% for the arts, so I don't want to discuss that. And I don't see we're not going to be building any other major buildings in the future, so it's usually only for capital projects. So, but I do see that particular art project just doesn't fit the maintenance facility. So I'll vote in favor of the staff recommendation.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilmember Sessoms, do you have a motion?
I do. I move approval of the proposed award of the Joint Operations and Maintenance Facility Artwork Project to Tobanar Meridian for an amount not to exceed $175,000, and authorize the mayor to execute related agreements.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Is there a discussion? Councilmember Sepidowson, I see your light's on. Did you? Okay. All right. Council President?
Thank you. To the staff, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your thoroughness on this. Thank you for staying in contact with the artists. And I just want to say thank you. I know sometimes things can be kind of frustrating, but I appreciate going with the flow and seeing this to happen. So thank you.
All right. It's been no. Thank you. All right, council, there's been a motion, a second, a discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right. Heather?
Councilmember Estefa Dawson.
Aye.
Councilmember Honda.
Nay.
Councilmember Hamilton.
Aye.
Councilmember Walsh.
Aye.
Councilmember Sessoms.
Aye.
Councilmember Kochmar.
Aye.
And Council President Moore.
Aye.
Mayor, the motion passes 6-1.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. All right, Item C, approve it's the Human Rights Grant Recommendation, Angelina Allen PSC. Community Services Manager. What did I say? Oh, did I? Oh, gosh. Well, I'm sorry, I looked at human. Angelina Allen, PSC Community Services Manager. Angelina?
Thank you, Mayor Farrell. Good evening, Council President Moore. Good evening, members of council. Angelina, Community Services Manager in the Community Development Department. I'm here to present the 2024 Human Service Grant Recommendation. So the policy question is, should the council approve the 2024 Human Service Grant Recommendation to fund the Federal Way Day Center for this year in the amount of $50,000? So I have a couple pictures for you. The first one is the exterior of the day center. As you can see, they have a fence. That fence encompasses the full building of the day center to give it more security, and it's more aesthetically pleasing. The second photo is some improvements that the Catholic Community Services, they conducted over the summer of last year, where they painted and they also purchased new furniture. It was a way to ensure that the interior was a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, so people who are there, that they feel more comfortable when they're there during the day. I know a question came up at the Parks, Recreation, Human Service, Public Safety Committee meeting last week about moving the day center to the Red Lion. And I understand that the council had requested $250,000 to support the relocation of the day center at the Red Lion Inn. My understanding is I had a chance to receive an email. I talked to the city's lobbyist. Meredith was able to help me get connected with him, and essentially that earmark is included in the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development, their appropriation bill. Congress is still working through their appropriations process, and so the THUD bill has not yet come up for vote. When it does, the city lobbyist will report back to council on whether the earmark is going to be included in the final bill, and we'll be able to walk council through what the next steps would be. So in terms of recommendations, the recommendation is to approve the 2026 funding of $50,000 to the day center. And the mayor's recommendation is option 1, which is to provide assistance to the day center for this year. And I will stop there and see if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina. All right, Councilmember Kochmark.
No questions. I'm fine. We're just releasing the money that we had promised previously, and the fact that they cleaned up their act was fabulous. Because I go by there. I know our council members drive by there on a regular basis to check on it. And so it's amazing. The change is amazing. So, but I'm wondering, Angelina, if you could find out, when we go to NLC in March, whether or not we can ask our lobbyist if we can follow up on the THUD money for the $250 for the Red Lion.
That's what he, that is
That
what
we
he's
can do
intending
that,
to do.
make sure that it's on the current appropriations bill to keep moving forward. Yeah, make it, again, our priority. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Council, any other questions? Oh, Councilmember Walsh.
Yeah, I was one of them that was concerned about the community center before. I mean, because they were not as maybe being good neighbors. I didn't feel, and but they have cleaned things up amazingly. Had the opportunity to go. Council President Moore and myself and you, Angelina, were there this afternoon, and I feel much better about it now. They have shown, they've cleaned things up, and they've kept things clean for a considerable amount of time now. And I think that they've shown good faith with that, and so I'm very pleased with that. So I'm definitely ready to vote yes on this.
Great.
All right, thank you very much, Angelina.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Sessoms.
I move to approve funding the Federal Way Day Center for 2026 in the amount of $50,000.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Council President?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like Councilmember Walsh stated, and thank you, Angelina, you met us over there today. I've watched this program come to play. over the years. And I'm grateful that they did work to resolve some of the concerns of our neighboring businesses. And I can absolutely say that the work that they do is pivotal, absolutely pivotal to the morality of these individuals that need a hand up and need some support. And honestly, when Councilmember Walsh and I were there, I felt proud that we're part of, that we're responding to a need that's needed in our community. And so I think there's more work that we need to do to support them and the work that they do. There's obviously visions for the future that we'll need to work with, but this is a very, very important issue, and it's only going to become more important in the years to come, quite frankly. Thank you.
All right, there's been a motion, a second, and discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passed unanimously. Thank you. All right, now item D, authorization to purchase barriers for city events. E.J. Walsh, our Public Works Director, will give the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, members of council. Tonight I am here to follow up on the council retreat from a year ago and to request authorization to purchase the barriers for events that we can use for the farmers market as well as other events. So with that, the policy question is, should the council authorize staff to purchase barriers for city events? So this is a slide from the council retreat last year where we talked about creating a vendor space between Town Square Park and the PAC. And specifically what we're talking about tonight is the two red lines on either end that say temporary barriers. So at the council retreats, we were asked to do a couple of different things. One was to work with King County Metro as well as Pierce Transit to relocate some of the bus routes that use this for Saturdays and Sundays so we could actually create this as a festival street. So that work has been done. Subsequent to that, we came to council last fall with a resolution to designate the section of street you saw on the last slide as a festival street. That gives us the legal authority and policy framework to close it to host events. So the last piece from the council retreat that we need to do is actually acquire the barriers to facilitate closing the road. So the picture you're seeing on the right is one that was delivered to the city of Kirkland. It's the exact same thing that we are buying. Ours will say City of Federal Way, not Kirkland, but other than that, they're identical. So why? So the background behind it is, as part of conducting events on a public street, we as the city, it is a public right-of-way, so it is a little bit different than conducting an event in the parking lot, as the farmers market has been for years, is responsible for creating a safe space. So we did, as staff and our traffic staff and operations staff, as well as we worked with the police department, review multiple different options, including our first choice was actually removable bollards. So similar to what you see around the Capitol, where they're literally like the big stainless steel pipe looking things that you can lift out of the ground, and have concrete bases that are embedded. So you just go drop them in when you want to close the road, and then you can take them out when you want the road open. They come with a pretty hefty price tag though. So that was the first choice. It was kind of cost prohibitive. So we did look at hardened systems. So this is one type of hardened system that's mobile. We actually looked at several others. We also looked at using vehicle attenuation. So that is CDL level trucks that are rated to stop impacts and/or police cars. Both the numbers that would be required to do that as well as the cost to buy the trucks kind of outweighed the cost of this. So the system that we're using was originally developed for DOD, and it is widely used and it is locally used. So those of you that were at the ribbon cutting for Sound Transit for the light rail station, this is what they use to close the street as well. The one big advantage of this is it can be deployed. These show up on a trailer behind a F-250 truck. So they can be deployed by a city staff member or seasonal that does not require a CDL. That's as far as staffing events goes, that's a big deal for us operationally. So some background is this system is available for purchase through the Federal Purchasing Contract, or GSA. We are requesting authorization to spend up to $300,000 on 2 of the systems, one for either end. It is proposed to be funded out of restricted revenue, specifically Fund 301, which is the Downtown Redevelopment Fund. That fund has a little bit over $6 million in it today. 5.4 of that was already committed to be the match for the state related to the City Center Access Project, but the delta between the little over 6 and 5.4 is enough to fund this investment. The picture you're seeing is from May of 2025. This was an event in Torrance, California. It was a parade that was put on. The errant driver was a male in his 70s that was lost and was looking at his phone, and specifically Google Maps, trying to figure out where he was and where he was going. He never saw the barrier. He hit it at 45 miles an hour. It was not an act of terrorism. It was not a medical emergency. It was someone that was lost. On the other side of that was the entire crowd watching the parade. So this system, if you go to their website, you can see the whole video from this, but it was credited with saving up to 1,000 lives in that one instance. So that is the system that we are proposing to acquire. It is rated to stop a truck, and the thing that is in the memo that in your council packet, but the last piece of this is it does come, a lot of what we're buying is effectively an insurance policy that goes with these. So the options and recommendation is to authorize staff to purchase the barriers for city events, and option 2 is do not authorize purchase the barriers for city events and provide direction to staff. The mayor recommends option 1. The one piece that I did leave out is the example that I showed you is associated with the farmers market. I know some of our police staff have a very large interest in using these for events like Red, White, and Blues as well, to break out sections of Celebration Park parking lot. And that would be a completely legitimate and applicable use of this system as well as the Miles from Miso race that the Parks Department does. These were reviewed for that as well. So we are intending them to be for all city events, not for one specific use. With that, I am happy to answer any questions.
All right, Councilmember Honda?
Thank you. So I have 2 questions, maybe 3. So will we need to buy a new trailer to haul these around?
No, the trailer comes with us. That's part of what we're buying.
So it's part of the bid?
Yes.
So it is a new trailer?
It is a new trailer that's included in the price. We're not buying a trailer separate from this for additional funding. That's included.
And is there equipment needed to move these on and off the trailer?
So there is it looks like a dolly that you would move like a car jack dolly, and it comes with that as well.
Does it take 2 staff members?
One, singular.
Just one? And that dolly just moves it to the location that it needs to be moved to? Or does the trailer stop at the location? So if it's going to be blocking off a street, is that you take the trailer to the end of the street where you need these at, drop them there?
Correct. And then you would drive the trailer away and park it somewhere offsite, yes.
So if they're used for the farmer's market, if we do that again, they will be stored on the trailer probably at the maintenance yard. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilmember Sessoms?
So in the picture that I'm looking at, the background with the wrecked car, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of these units. How
Correct.
many units can be bought for $300,000?
16 plus it's actually 2 trailers, 8 go on each trailer, as well as the dollies, the signs, so whether it's road closed, stop, yield, all the signs come with it. Cables to connect them, and 2 gates to be able to open them for emergency vehicles, basically an ambulance, to get through in an emergency.
And it's your belief that 16 is adequate to cover either end of the streets? or both ends?
So the company did a site visit that's part of their GSA contract and reviewed it, and they've actually put together a deployment diagram of what we would need. And they're actually the ones that computed the 16 based on AASHTO, or the national safety, is what is needed. And that covers basically sidewalk to sidewalk. You have to have under a 6-foot gap. That way a car can't, for those of you that saw what happened in New Orleans 2 years ago, where the car drove up on the sidewalk and around the barrier, you have to have maximum gap can be 6 feet. So that is all computed, and they've already provided us a diagram of how they need to be deployed to be fully compliant.
Thank you.
Councilmember Sefadowson.
Yeah, my question's answered.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Council President, do you have a motion?
I sure do. Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the purchase of the traffic barriers for city events in an amount not to exceed $300,000. Thank you.
Second?
It's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passed unanimously. Thank you, EJ.
Thank you.
Okay, item E, rescheduling of council meeting to accommodate National League of City Council attendance. Brian Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So real quickly, we need to modify the upcoming council schedule. There's 5 of you, I believe, that are attending the National League of City Conference.
I think all 7.
Oh, okay, it was 5 at the time that we drew this up, so congratulations to all 7 of you now going to be out of town. For the second meeting, I've already forgot which month we're talking about here. March. Okay. The council rules limits our Zoom attendance of council members to 3, and so because there's more of 3 of you gone, that won't be a possibility, so we have to reschedule it. And so this motion takes into account that we will move the council back 1 week, and because that falls on a FedRAC week, we're going to move FedRAC out to the next Tuesday, and because March has 5 Tuesdays, we have the flexibility to do that. So that's the motion.
To the from the 17th of March to the 24th.
24th and FedRAC to the 31st.
16th.
Is it the?
16th to the 19th. Is what's on my calendar.
The meeting's on the 17th.
Oh,
Yeah, so the motion is going to be to cancel the meeting because by
Yeah.
rule, the council meets on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays. And so the 24th meeting will be a special city council meeting.
yep, I got it.
Okay. All right, Council President, you have a
Yeah,
motion.
thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes.
Councilmember Honda.
So it would be a regular city council meeting, but titled special, because a special city council meeting, we can't make modifications to the agenda and generally don't have public comment.
You can address it if you want, but you can take motions at a special council meeting. You just can't make modifications after the agenda is published. So you can take whatever business you want to put on the agenda, but as far as when the agenda goes out, because it's a special meeting, you can't then make modifications to it.
Can I ask why we would call it a special?
Because the
Council
regular
meeting?
one falls on the 17th. By council rule, it's the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays.
Agreed, but in August, we moved the council meeting to the second Tuesday.
It's already done by council rules.
True?
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. Well, the word special council meeting does
Can I
denote
clarify
different
that?
things.
Yeah.
It's a matter of semantics somewhat, but regular means a meeting that's on the published schedule, and a special meeting is everything else.
Okay.
So because we're canceling the meeting that's on the schedule, then whatever we schedule to take its place must be called a special council.
But we'll still be able to take public
We
comment.
can do everything that we
Okay.
normally do.
And vote.
Yep, it'll be a regular, functionally, it will be the same as a regular meeting. It's
All
just
right.
called special.
Just wanted
Because
to
it's a
clarify
different
that.
date.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, did you already make your
Yep,
motion?
no, I have not. Mr. Mayor, I move, if I may, I move to cancel the March 17th regular city council meeting, schedule a special meeting on March 24th, and reschedule the March 24th FedRAC meeting to March 31st.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Sefadowson.
If FedRAC is not that long, it normally starts at 5, can we just do FedRAC from 5 to 6:30? Actually, I'm not on the committee, but just asking for the rest of you.
Well, that would eliminate the ability to have a study session if we want one.
And the
Do
last
we have one?
several FedRecs have gone
Long.
longer than an hour and a half.
Just an idea.
That's why, yeah, okay. All right, is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passed unanimously. Okay, ordinances, this is first reading. Item A, Council Bill 930, ordinance, repeal the local authority over Class 4 forest practices application. Associate Planner Caitlin Starnes will present this item. Caitlin?
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, other council members. My name is Caitlin Starnes. I'm here tonight to present to you the repeal of local jurisdiction over Class 4 forest practice permits. So the policy question tonight is, should the City Council repeal local jurisdiction over the Class 4 general forest practice applications? A little bit of background for you. The revised code of Washington State actually regulates these forest practice permits. In the 1990s, the City of Federal Way assumed local jurisdiction over review of these permits, and we chose to do that under Title 19, which is our land use code. Excuse me. Sorry, just to go back a little bit. The reason why the City of Federal Way is amending this portion of the code is because that there are processes in place at the state level, and we are not required by statute to be part of those processes. There is no value added to the city from local staff involvement, and it frees up planning staff to work on other items that are coming. So we have some minor code amendments in the first two sections that you see on the slide in front of you. We are adding a new section in Federal Way Revised Code 19120, item 23, item 20, note 3. And it's basically going to state and that you can see in your packet that it's going to defer this to the state to review. We are also repealing in its entirety sections 180 through 210. Timeline for you, we did our SEPA in September of 25, Planning Commission public hearing in November. We went to LUTC last month. Tonight is first reading, and anticipated adoption is February 3rd. The proposed amendments are consistent with the applicable provisions of the comprehensive plan. They bear substantial relationship to public health, safety, and welfare, and they are in the best interest of the residents of the city. Policy options tonight are adopt the ordinance related to Title 19, or do not adopt the proposed ordinance and provide direction to staff. The mayor's recommendation is option 1. Do I have any questions?
Council, any questions? Councilmember Honda?
Thank you. In our packet, there's a letter from the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. Did they just submitted the letter talking about their history? They did not have any objections?
Yes, ma'am. They submitted the letter. We did have a follow-up conversation via email with them, and they had no other concerns other than that they just wanted to make a comment to make sure that we were aware that they were following along.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, thank you, Caitlin. Have we received any public comment for purposes of this hearing? All right, would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 930, ordinance repeal local authority over Class 4 forest practice applications. An ordinance of the City of Federal Way, Washington relating to Class 4 general forest practice applications, amending Federal Way Revised Code 19-120-010 and 19-120-020, and repealing city code sections detailed in the written title.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Walsh, do you have a motion?
Yes, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to the February 3, 2026 council meeting for second reading and enactment.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passes unanimously. Thank you again, Caitlin.
Appreciate your time.
Mayor,
Yes.
can we also give a special thank you to Caitlin for, this was the agenda item that got bumped from the last meeting where we went to almost midnight, and she stayed for almost the whole time, so.
That's totally fine.
Thanks, Caitlin.
What's your visit?
It's almost 9, exactly.
I will still make my bedtime, we're good.
Oh, very good. Thank you. All right, item B, second reading and enactment for Council Bill 929, ordinance Forged Fiber 37 LLC franchise. Would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 929, ordinance Forged Fiber 37 LLC franchise. An ordinance of the City of Federal Way, Washington, granting Forged Fiber 37 LLC, a Delaware limited liability company, a non-exclusive franchise to occupy rights-of-way of the City of Federal Way, Washington, within the specified franchise area for the purposes of constructing, maintaining, operating, replacing, and repairing a telecommunications network within and through the City of Federal Way.
All right, Councilmember Walsh.
I move approval of the proposed ordinance.
Is there a second? Is there a second? All right. There's been a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passed unanimously. Item C, second reading and enactment, Council Bill 931, ordinance condemnation for State Route 99 at South 373rd Street Roundabout and Access Management Project. Would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 931, ordinance condemnation for SR 99 at South 373rd Street Roundabout and Access Management Project. An ordinance of the City of Federal Way, Washington, providing for the acquisition of certain property for the purpose of constructing right-of-way improvements in the vicinity of SR 99 at South 373rd Street, known as the SR 99 at South 373rd Street Roundabout and Access Management Project, describing the public use and necessity of such property, directing staff to exhaust reasonable negotiation efforts to purchase such property, providing for the condemnation of the property, and directing the city attorney to initiate all necessary actions and proceedings in the manner provided by law for said condemnation if attempts to purchase are not successful.
All right. Councilmember Walsh.
I move approval of the proposed ordinance.
There's been a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it passes unanimously. All right, we're on to council reports. Councilmember Kochemar.
No report, thank you.
Councilmember Sessoms.
I look forward to a meeting on February 10th, and I welcome others to join us on that evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Walsh.
No report.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Hamilton.
Yes, I just wanted to report on a few things that I did this week. Shout out to the Federal Way Mirror, who hosted the Hot Off the Presses. Myself, Councilmember Les Sessoms, and Council President Martin Moore got to be a part of that. And they always do a great job hosting that event. I also want to thank Susan Honda for your advocacy at every meeting for council members to join the Historical Society. I want you to know that I have joined the Historical Society. So,
Everyone up here should.
due to your advocacy. Myself and Councilmember Jack Walsh attended the Islamic Center Federal Way fundraiser event. So that was a great event. And the Religious Freedom Proclamation was very prescient tonight regarding the Islamic community, because they are looking for a place to worship and practice their faith. And that's what the fundraiser event was about. Students from Tacoma came, and I think that was already reported on. We got to give them a little bit of civics education, so that was fun. Looking forward to the City Action Days this week. Also on my, it's going to be on the campus of my alma mater, St. Martin's University, so I'm excited about that. I'm sure you are too, Council President Moore.
Could we back up?
The MLK event was fantastic. I got there right at 10 a.m., right when doors opened, and got to connect and visit with all of our nonprofit and community booths. So big thank you to the Diversity Commission and all the people, the parks people who put work into that. The performances were amazing. The keynote speaker was amazing, and I think it was truly next level this year. Lastly, the Seahawks are on fire this year. So I got a little education this week from my son and his friends on interpreting lineups. And I learned about this thing called the tush push. I don't know if anybody else knows about the tush push.
course.
But I guess here in Seattle, we call it the barnyard. And that's because of our tight end, AJ Barner. But I guess it's like this short yardage play where if you just want to go like 1 yard or maybe 2 yards, just everybody lines up, they're all like huddled up, and then they just push as hard as they can. So it requires a really strong offensive line for this to work. But this is my football analogy, guys. You got to get used to this. I thought about as a council, when we want to push good policy forward and do great things for our city, we've got to do the barnyard and just link arms, come together, and just push to make it happen. So there you go. That's my report.
Very good, thank you. Councilmember Walsh, you want to?
Yeah, just Councilmember Hamilton made me realize that there was a couple of things. Well, one is back to the diversity, or to the MLK event. Fantastic, the best one that we've had. Big thanks to the Diversity Commission, big thanks to staff. Great job. And also the fundraiser that went direct from that to the fundraiser that the Muslim community had. And their new mosque and Islamic center is going to be right around the corner here. They're going to be a close neighbor here. It'll be great having them here close. And boy, they know how to do a fundraiser. They did, what, $1.5 million at a fundraiser? I mean, I'm involved with some fundraisers, and boy, that's in my dreams. So anyway, so.
Very good. Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. So my grandfather and his brothers had a logging company down in Redondo, and my grandparents on my mother's side owned quite a bit of property here in Federal Way before we were even a city. Yet build their family home in Tacoma over by Bellarmine, and so that's where my mother grew up. So my history goes way back in Federal Way, and I do really want everyone on this council to please be a member of the Historical Society. It doesn't cost much, but it supports them, and it shows that we support them. They are the ones keeping our history, and they're doing a darn good job of it, but any kind of support would be great. I'd also like to we have small businesses here in Federal Way, and I hear it's sometimes very tough to run a small business, but Camp Moxie Joe's is really cool. It was voted as one of the 100 most interesting things in Federal Way, a lot of attention, and now that attention has led to her business being closed down. And she admits that she needs to do some things, but I really hope that the city works with her and that we get this open again so that she can bring people from the Netherlands and Canada and all around the country to Federal Way. And maybe one day they'll see a Sasquatch here. But let's work with her and make this happen. I'd like to thank the Diversity Commission for a really great event, and to all of the performers who spent Saturday dancing and speaking and singing. They were awesome. And looking forward to the retreat this week. And going down to Olympia for the next 2 days and talking with people from all around the state. And NLC will be there also. So we'll find out some federal things going on, some state things going on, and we'll come back with a lot of information.
All right, great. Councilmember Suffolk Dawson.
Thank you, Mayor. I too wanted to speak a little bit about Martin Luther King Day. It was one of my favorite, actually was my favorite, I think. And what I really appreciated about it was Reverend Thompson's account and asking us to forgive and how powerful that is. And then even the theme, turning pain into peace. And then I think we're also asked, what will we do? And so hopefully that, to me, was just a call to action, and so I hope not just the council, but Federal Way citizens would pick up that mantle and see what it is that they can do to support their community. And Bill, thank you for all the signs, and I've already seen the new signs, your speech.
State of the city.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that's all over the place, so thank you for putting those up. And so we've been getting a lot of emails about flock cameras, and I think people are concerned enough that they keep bringing it up, and there's a lot of emails that are going around, and I know you've been inundated with all those, and you're responding to them, and both you and Mayor, and so thank you, both of you. My concern is, I appreciate your response, and I believe you, but at the same time, I don't think you have control over how that data gets used, or how you're going to be asked to give out those. We don't know. There was just so much uncertainty that I would like for us to look at that and see if there's, even if it's temporarily halting, or if there's any modification we could do to that. I would really suggest, because people are for real concerned and worried. And then thank you for the religious freedom proclamation, and I think if we do this more, maybe annually or whatever, I would like to see more diverse and other religions and other faith to be involved.
There was an attempt at that, and we didn't get responses from some that had been invited, so,
I could
yeah.
have helped you with some, or
So,
added some, but,
yeah.
but thank you. No, it's great, and I think it just shows that we are, again, very diverse and very inclusive. And also, it made me think of the Walk for Peace, the monks that are doing now on the East Coast. I think it's all about coming together, all about peace, and all about unity. So I do appreciate the effort. And thank you, Les, for, again, stepping up to do to chair the Parks, Recreation, and Human Services Committee, because I do know what it's like to be overlooked, and I did not speak up when that happened to me. So I just want to commend you for stating your ability, because I know everybody here is capable, by the way, so I'm not questioning anybody. But at the same time, I think it's good you told us what we didn't know about you. In other words, so thank you for that. So I just want to talk a little bit about my concern over ICE activities. I know, again, Federal Way is saying that we're going to stay away we're not going to support, but yet, it happened in Tequila last week. I'm involved in a nonprofit organization, and the fear is real. I'm concerned about a lot of fellow immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I came as a student, and I am naturalized citizen. But that's not what they're looking for, and it's really sad that people are scared. And a lot of the services that we're offering, again, nonprofits that serve primarily immigrant populations, are either asked to lock their offices, make it by appointment only. So accessibility is becoming really difficult, and people are staying away, and that is not okay. This country was built on immigrants, and this country should be safe for everyone to live, and it's not that way anymore, and so that really makes me nervous. I do know those people. I live around those people. I hear and I talk to them. So for people who don't think it affects them, it's affecting me, and I am, again, naturalized citizen, but I don't think they ask for that. It's not just the illegals like we hear that they're after. It's anybody who's different. And so please be sensitive to that. And then there's a lot, but there's visas were revoked from 75 countries, mostly African countries, including Ethiopia, by the way. But then there's white South Africans get a visa to immigrate to the United States. Why? I want that to sink in. So I'm speaking up, and I'm saying what I'm saying because I think I've been quiet for a long time. And I've used this quote before, and I'm going to repeat it, and that's how I'm going to end it. It says that the Nazis came for the communists, and I did not speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Catholic. Then they came for me, and by that time there was no one left to speak for me. I don't want to regret having this platform and this space to not speak up to what's happening to people, and I cannot ignore it. I know there's a public uproar around Somalis, and I'm not going to say fraud didn't happen. I don't know. However, the whole country, people who come from that country should not be attacked. Should not be. That's not okay. And again, tomorrow could be for my country and people who look like me and who came and who immigrated from there. So thank you for this time. And I know we're going to talk about how much time we have for a council dice, but I'm good. I just needed to exercise that and share. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Council President Moore.
Well, Councilmember Safadasan, that, thank you, Councilor. Thank you for your comments with regarding ICE. Look, I think no doubt there's not that much that we can do as a city. Our hands are tied. But we have a voice, and we can uplift that voice. And I'm reminded about what the pastor said that was the keynote speaker at the Diversity Commission, and hopefully I'm getting the quote right, but it's something that really caught my attention. That's, "We are the light to bring to the dark world. Let our light shine." And I think that's the opportunity that we have. And really, quite frankly, it's not just us, but it's the public. And we see that on a day-to-day basis. But I, like yourself, Councilmember Safadasan, I am also an immigrant. I am also a naturalized citizen. And the reality is that when it rattles your heart, you gotta speak up. You gotta speak up. And all I could say is that we've got to uplift our voices so that the community knows that we're hearing them. And I think it's on us to be creative and send a signal, because people are looking to us. They're looking to us to know that we see them and we recognize them. And I think this is obviously a hot button issue. And you're right, Councilor Safadasan, it's a lot. It is absolutely a lot. And I think it doesn't bring the best of us. It does not. And I added this item to the agenda so that the public knows that we hear them, so we can have a conversation. And hopefully we can be creative and what we can do, even though I know that there's not much that can be done. There's more to say about that, but I'll just say that I really appreciate your voice. I really appreciate how eloquent you were in what you said. And I only encourage you to keep doing that. Keep talking about that. And I will do the same, because Federwayans, we are a diverse community. We have immigrants in Federway, and they need to know that we hear them and that they matter. And I think it's appalling and it's disgusting and how that's being implemented. Anyways, so with that, I appreciated the Diversity Commission's event that they put on. A shout out to our staff for putting all that together, working with the commission. Also, like my colleague stated, we have gotten a lot of flock camera questions. Chief, thank you for taking the time to respond to all of them. And more importantly, thank you to the mayor's office and to the chief's office for adding that aspect of flocks that we don't share the data, and that we simply follow the state law on that. And I'm grateful that we're making that clear. And so I know that the state legislature has a few items on this, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they are going to pass, and I'm hopeful that the chief will indicate what those items are as part of the report for this council retreat that's coming up. You know, I would also agree with Councilmember Honda in that the Camp Moxie Joe, is that what it was? Camp Moxie Joe? I do think that we ought to find a way to work with them because it's a beautiful thing. And so obviously she recognizes what's happened, and I think this is a good learning opportunity, but she's obviously wanting to address a lot of those concerns. So I hope there could be that compassionate partnership to get her up and running and whatnot. So with that, I can go on and on and on, Mr. Mayor, but I think people want to go home. So I will end my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, great work, everybody, and thank you to the members of the public and to our city council, to our city staff. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.